Hello, I'm Mike Graticelli, Editor-in-Chief of HDCameraGuide.com, here with another edition of Advances in HD Technology. I'm here today with Rob Willox, Director of Content Creation at Sony, to talk about a new series of studio cameras which really set the bar in a different direction as far as features and also price points. Before I want to get into the cameras though, Rob, I want to talk a little bit about the history of Sony in the business and really why it's become the camera of choice, so to speak, for people. You know, the company's had a long history of supporting a number of milestones in television history, both for SD and then moving to HD. They always seem to turn to Sony. So talk a little bit about that history and how that's kind of resulted in a camera like this.
Well, I like to refer to our involvement in high definition as being a 25-year overnight success in imaging. So we've got a huge body of work and have been working on perfecting the HD camera now for over 25 years. So during that journey, we worked with NHK, did extensive research with CBS networks, and decided in the late 90s that what we had missed was 720p becoming as predominant a format as it has. The launch of cable production and what that would mean, and sports. And I think as you know, sports was the major driver. And we were caught in a situation where ESPN made a very quick decision to go high definition. They wanted to do 100 events in their first year. It was very ambitious, considering you're starting from no trucks or very, very few trucks. To be able to cover that and then doubling that. Not to be outdone, Fox wanted to do the same amount of programming, even more, for Monday Night Football on ESPN. It created a condition where we had to very quickly create two things. One of them was a multi-format camera, do 720p and 1080 as well as you can. So if they're going to be doing the CBS game or the ABC game, they're going to look as good, the same feature sets, the same transmission, and very, very passive for the truck operators to be able to do that. I can't have a 720 truck and I can't have a 1080 truck. And as simple as that sounds, what it meant was a wholesale redesign of everything we did from switchers and routers and monitoring and everything else to accommodate both. The second part of it was the world was wired for triax, and high definition was wired for fiber. And to get caught at a time where we had put all of our eggs in the fiber basket because we're a very quality-driven engineering company, we didn't want to make a compromise to use what we thought could be relatively easily pulled out and replaced with fiber or augmented with fiber. And you know, you have a way of believing your own ideas and your own propaganda after a while. It became pretty obvious after we did an exhaustive study to take, well, why don't we take 76 stadiums and we'll just upgrade them to fiber on our dime. That'll only be $20 million. Easy for us. So the question became, what about the 2,000 colleges that have sports teams? And at that point we knew that we can't beat them, we need to join them. So we went back to Japan and we begged them to make a triax adapter. So you have to take it from a pure engineering standpoint. You have this lovely, rich, huge signal, and then you're going to take that and you're going to put it through a funnel. It's like putting a basketball through a garden hose. And the engineers are looking at you like, you really want to do this? It's like, yeah, we have to. So it was actually the last analog project in Etsugi's design group. It was the last analog project done by Etsugi, and it was the last analog project built by Sony on the professional level. And we had difficulty getting an engineer to volunteer for this because they thought this was, you know, a real closed loop thing and it wasn't that important. And why have I been selected to build this this analog stuff? Anyway, what it did, it became a huge springboard for us. So we had the opportunity to build cameras for what became a very busy fall season. We were a little late to market. We're about a year afterwards we came back in, and we worked on the ALCS, and we worked at a bunch of different sports and first broadcasts of different races, and it didn't take very long for people to realize, wow, I can do 720, I can do 1080, and I can use fiber, and I can use triax, and I've got all these great feature sets I'm used to Sony having. I'll just buy their cameras. And from then we made billions and billions of dollars. So.
Yeah, because you know, Sony has always been a camera line that people have aspired to. They've really been the Cadillac, so to speak, of the industry. You know, this lower cost series we're talking about now. It's called the HD Studio series, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a series that people are inspired to, would you say?
Definitely built for them. We realized that the capacity that we had in our factories to build cameras, you can only build so much. And we had the first Olympics that were done in HD worldwide, which was, Beijing was a huge project and it exhausted a lot of resources for a lot of companies.
Right.
So we had, on our development path, had planned for after Beijing, we would do something that's a little wider ranging and more applicable to especially college and arena markets, for example. And we've had call from, we've sold lower cost cameras to houses of worship and B2B communicators and all sorts of things. Thousands of cameras a year go into that market, and we didn't really have anything in high definition for them.
Okay.
The fortunate part where they are the last part of the market to go to HD, and they're going to hang on to CRT monitors and SD cameras as long as they can.
Right.
But we finally have a product that's ready for them. The important thing about that product is we've taken a body of work for the large studios and the networks and what we've done in the cinema business and be able to develop a camera that it's at a cost point that is much more affordable,
right,
but still has the same feature set. And the thing that we learned about Triax is, if we can utilize the existing infrastructure,
mm-hmm,
you're so far ahead. And if you take installations like the United Nations, for example, they're not about to rip out the walls to get the Triax out and put fiber in.
right,
Any historic building, a lot of the older churches, they put the Triax in there under duress. The last thing they want to do is rip the structure down and open it up. And there's an awful lot of buildings that have various codes, FD4 fire rating codes, that they bought very special cable to put in there that they either can't take out or they won't take out. So again, utilizing what's there was a very important step for us, and it's appreciated.